PR thing?
Oh,
in your house,
no. In the house, we're all like very, again, because we do know how each other, like what we go through on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Yeah, so when we're at home, we're just normal people. I mean, sometimes we do get to talk about business and our careers and, you know, because it's kind of intertwined, but it's not all we talk about or all we do. Like at home, my mom cooks, she's normal. My dad watches TV, you know, like, so we're very normal. And
what are you at home? Like, diba, like usually in families,
there's like a
there's
role,
the bully,
there's the black sheep,
there's the makulit,
there's the nerd,
the tamad, always sleeping, there's the ganyan.
I think,
what are your roles, like, pero family lang?
I think I'm the funny one.
You're always the one cracking jokes.
Yeah.
And what about the others? Like to a peak, like let's say a weekend where the entire Gutierrez family is there.
Yeah.
What are your like parang pegs?
Well, we always like whenever we're out on a dinner, we're always like, "Oh, Charda, get this one na." Because I'm like, ikaw pinakamayaman.
The highest paid.
So like that, like we joke around all the time, things like that.
Like with your parents, who's the stricter one? Pag kailangan nyo magpaalam, who you used to like?
Because my mom is we're so used to her that when she gets mad, we're just like, okay, whatever. But when my dad gets mad and like he never shouts or never raises his voice,
like the silent treatment.
Yeah, he's very like stern. So pag gano'n na si daddy, alam mong it's serious.
Yeah. So whenever you would ask for permission, like let's just say like you guys had like I don't know, a
when you were younger,
or a beach trip or something like that when you were younger, who would you ask?
My mom.
Your mom.
Kasi at the end of the day, my mom really has malambot talaga yung puso niya. It just people don't see that side because whenever she's in the public eye, she's fighting someone.
Right.
You know, so that's the only time she gets airtime. It's because when, you know, she's protecting us or, you know, something's happening. But you don't get to see that, Mom, can I do this? Oh, sige, okay.
Would you say, though, that your mom is the one that has more control when it comes to that?
She does because she acts as, you know, now she's like part manager for all of her careers. So, you know, in terms of business also, she kind of handles that side.
Is Rufa very ate-ish?
She is.
She is?
You know, she is growing up. She was the one who insisted that we go to school in the States. She's the one that bought the property there to make sure that her brothers get an education outside of the Philippines just to try it out.
Yeah.
So she was kind of like the ate talaga. Even when we were growing up, she was like, you know, our extra hand, our yaya.
Who's the one you parang personal stuff? Who do you like talk to the most?
Divulging it to?
I think,
family. Okay.
You know, I think Chard and my sister.
The two of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has it always been like, I mean, I just wonder what it's like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Na parang,
siguro nalilito yung tao. If you go out as a family and somebody goes, who do I take a picture with?
Parang like, sino kaya unahin ko, diba? Parang,
well, you know, people have approached us for a reality show like ages ago, even before it became a trend.
Right.
And like from different networks and stuff. But we've always been like against it, like especially me and my siblings. But now that we're kind of older and we know who we are and you know, like it might be in the works. I don't know.
That might be interesting.
Had you not gone into show business, what do you think you would have been doing now?
I'd probably be working somewhere in the States, maybe New York.
Do you have any ideas?
Maybe
what?
in the creative field.
Maybe
Advertising, publishing, something like that. Because that's always been kind of my interest.
So you've always been
PR also.
Sort of like artsy to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about local earlier. Like, who's your like, call it idol, call it whatever.
Life peg.
Nah, like foreign celebrity.
You know, because whenever people visit the Philippines, sometimes I get assigned to interview or host these things with celebrities from the US. And the weird thing is, I don't get super starstruck with like singers or actors, but I attended London Fashion Week not too long ago. Yeah. And I get starstruck more with the creative types, like the photographers, the editors, the writers.
The quote-unquote people behind the scenes.
Yeah, like the sartorialist, that famous photographer. Like, I was freaking out when he walked into the room.
Right.
Or like DJs, like more of the creative types. I get more starstruck with them.
Never the faces.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Because usually you get starstruck with the big stars, right? Like the singers and the actors and the...
You've interviewed a lot of people. Like, I can't even begin to you know, just enumerate each and every single one of them. But, like, off the top of your head, who was the most interesting person you've ever interviewed? If that's even like a question that you can actually ask.
I had the privilege of interviewing Dolphy.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So the king of comedy, you know, for me, even at that time, because he was an exclusive artist of ABS-CBN, but he granted me an interview for my show with GMA. So that was kind of like a big deal to me. Even iconic people like Sherry Hill, Eugene Domingo, Juday, like all of these people that I look up to in terms of their careers and where they've taken it.
Yeah.
Those are all like the memorable interviews. But in terms of interesting, I didn't realize how bitchy Adam Levine was.
Really?
Yeah. But I guess he was tired, and he came from a long flight, and then he had like a 10-hour shoot. So, but I could tell that he was really tired by the time he got to me, because I was kind of like the last person. So I can't blame him. At the end of the day, we're all tired. I'm probably jet lagging.
Yeah.
And this guy's asking me like
a million
too many questions.
Yeah.
So I would be giving attitude too if I was a big star like him.
I was going to ask, so does that mean that he is also, because I was supposed to ask you, for us, we're DJs, we interview people too, and that's one of our fears. When we have a guest or an interview, it's like, what if they're difficult? Would you say that he's already, or if not, who's the most difficult celebrity you've ever interviewed?
For me, that moment, because he is a rock star, and he's not going to be the type to be like, hey, how's your day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he's not going to be open arms.
Yeah, so for him, he came from a long flight. He just did a photo shoot. He's at a series of interviews. So
give us an example. What made you say that he was?
I was like sweating on stage, and good thing people didn't notice, because it was just for the press at that time, and some of my friends were in the audience, and they're like, no, we didn't even notice that you were like panicky. I was like, oh really? Because he kind of shut me down. He was like, I was like, hey, I guess at that time he had just, I don't know if he had broken up with his girlfriend, or he was going through drama with his life. I don't even know. But my first question was, because when he came out, all of the girls were like, they were going wild, right? So I was like, and the manager strictly told me to follow the script. Okay. And of course, being the host that I am, I rarely follow
the script,
So my first question to him wasn't part of the 10 questions that I was supposed to ask him.
Okay.
And then he was like, I was like, Adam, I just want to get this out of the way. The girls are going crazy here. What do you look for in a girl?
Yeah.
Which is, I've asked that question.
I mean, it's a pretty generic question.
Yeah, I've asked that question to like Joe Jonas or Liam Hemsworth. Like, I've asked that question to them, but I guess I don't know what he was going through.
Yeah.
But maybe he was going through something personal. But he was just like, I don't want to talk about that.
Oh wow!
Like, with like the straightest face. So I was like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah. What do you say after that?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, how am I gonna transition this? And that was the first question. So the rest of the interview, I was so like,
a little
okay, I need to follow the script.
But did he warm up after?
Yeah, he warmed up after. I mean, he became like, a little bit more like talkative and stuff like that. But I guess because that question wasn't part of the initial. So, so maybe I should have next time just shut up.
Wow.
Well, sometimes you got to take a risk.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got more questions coming up in just a little bit, but for now, we got to take a short break. Once again, we have Raymond Gutierrez on the show for a couple more minutes before the end of the morning rush, and we're going to a break.
The Morning Rush, Chico, Del, and